Well, we made it, guys. Here we are, the final review in my series of the Countdown to New Empire. So this is, of course, the big one. This is what the whole load of these reviews have been about. This is me talking about Godzilla, X Kong, times Kong, multiplied by Kong, the New Empire. So yeah, I know the review's a little bit late. Had some stuff come up, work and that. So here I am. So sorry for the delay, but normal service has been resumed. So you know the score by now if you've been following this little series. So I've been going through each movie in the Monsterverse, discussing it, breaking it down, giving you my thoughts, sort of leading up. And then basically this is going to be the final review, and then I'm going to be doing a little ranking video after this, just kind of putting them in order of kind of preference and watchability. So yeah, so stick around for that, because that will be the final part of this little series that I've done. So obviously there's going to be spoilers in this review as well. So just to make that very clear, just so there's no confusion. So yeah, we'll be talking spoilers. So if you have seen the film, then stick around. And if you haven't seen the film, then, well, watch it, I guess. All right, so very quickly, so just to go through the plot. So the movie takes place 3 years after Godzilla versus Kong. So Mechagodzilla has been defeated now. And we see Kong, who's living on Hollow Earth, and he's still searching for more of his own kind. Not really having a lot of luck with that, to be honest, bless him. And then Godzilla is taking care of things upstairs. Obviously in our world, or on the kind of our realm, I guess you want to call it. And so he's kind of very much that protector of Earth still, and he's just taking care of business basically, as only he can do. And he has this awesome fight with Skylar, not her, Skilla. I'm probably butchering that, but anyway, that's in Rome. And then he has this little catnap in the Colosseum after that. So you get this awesome fight sequence, and then he curls up like a lovely little kitten. I'm not gonna lie, that is pretty adorable, just seeing him just snoozing away there, bless him. And then so Monarch obviously still kind of working on things and observing things, and they've got outposts literally fucking everywhere in the world at this point. And they also now have one on Hollow Earth, which picks up this signal, which is causing Gia to have all these like dreams and hallucinations and visions and stuff. So also sensing the signal, Godzilla basically decides to he actually gets up from the Colosseum, and he's a bit like the White Rabbit or something. He starts rushing around. He's like, oh, I'm gonna be late, and he's like dashing around all over the world. And he ends up in France, where he starts like getting all this radiation from a power plant, and they're all like, oh shit, like he's charging up for something, and they're all like freaking out, like where the hell is he going? So basically so that's kind of his side story. He's kind of gearing up for that, and then basically this like portal opens up in Hollow Earth, which Kong then kind of like investigates. And that's where he then meets Baby Kong, or Diddy Kong, whatever you want to call him. Well, Suko is actually his name, so let's just call him Suko, because that's actually what he's called. I mean, Suko is very much, this kind of little brat. Well, I say little brat. He's probably about 50 feet tall still, but yeah. So they have this funny kind of dynamic between them, and Suko leads Kong to basically more of their own kind, and which takes him into the realm of the Scar King. He was the villain here, and Kong is very much like this, kind of almost like he's very much just like a rival leader to Scar King. So that obviously gets his back up. So they have this fight, and Scar King has got this kind of ice powered titan called Shimo, who is basically he has like ice breath. He's kind of like Godzilla, but his kind of powers are like ice related, and he basically like freezes Kong's paw. So he kind of has like frostbite there, which leads into him getting the sort of Infinity Gauntlet type thing later on. So eventually what happens is Kong and Godzilla have to team up together in order to take down Scar King and Shimo. But they're not alone. Oh no. So not only do we have Suko obviously helping them out as well, we have the return of Mothra as well. So not seen since Godzilla King of the Monsters. And I even said, I think in that review, that I would love to see her come back in some way. She comes back. So thanks to Gia and the tribe, living on Hollow Earth, they are able to, because basically Gia is like the missing, she's like the key to kind of bringing Mothra back, because it can only be a native from Skull Island that can do that. So yeah, so she's able to release Mothra, who I guess has been in hibernation since King of the Monsters. And so she comes in, and yeah, they have this, and I'm not even like exaggerating. For me personally speaking, it was like Endgame level epicness. Like I was edge of my seat, and I mean the people that I saw this with, like the audience. I mean I saw this opening day, so again apologies for the late review. But yeah, I saw this opening day, and the audience were absolutely fucking loving it. Like there was a woman behind me who was clearly a fucking huge Mothra fan, and she was cheering and like whooping and hollering. And you know, I'm obviously British, and we don't really do that sort of thing over here. You know, I think No Way Home was probably the first time I'd really experienced that. And yeah, and I've got to be honest, like I hate. One of my pet hates, just going off topic here, but one of my pet hates is people talking in a movie and stuff, and just on their phones or whatever. But when people are cheering and clapping like that, you know, that totally fucking makes it for me. And that's just, it really helps you kind of get into it, and it's almost like you're out of like a football match or something. You have that crowd atmosphere, so that does, you know, make a big difference, I think. But anyway, basically, yeah. So they all team up together, and they manage to free Shimo because Sky King is controlling him, or her. I'm not actually sure what gender she is. It is even. So basically, yeah. So they all kind of end up teaming up to take down Sky King. Who gets morally fucked up, as you can imagine, because he is an evil, ruthless bastard. So I'm glad to see him meet his end. And then, as always, they go their separate ways. Kong goes back to the Hollow Earth, and he's now like the leader of their, you know, the you know, all the different apes that are down there. He's, you know, and they're all kind of his like army. And Zuko he's like his right hand man and his kind of adoptive son, which was a lovely little moment. And then Godzilla just went back to sleep in the Colosseum. So there you go. That is the plot. So moving into the positives, I mean, once again, just like in Godzilla vs. Kong, Kong steals the show again for me. You know, again, just being the absolute heart and soul of the movie, and just being that kind of almost like missing link between humans and Titans. He is just, yeah, he's just got so much personality. And yeah, just an absolute joy to just see more of him. And yeah, he's fucking like, yeah, absolutely love Kong in this series. Of course, like seeing Mothra come back was an absolute highlight and a pleasure, and that was a real nice surprise. They managed to keep her out of the marketing really well. Like there's a shot in the trailer where you have Godzilla and Kong, and they're in Egypt, and they're in front of the pyramids, and they're kind of roaring. In the trailer you just see them two, but in the actual movie Mothra is like in the middle of them. So they have a cool little moment there. And obviously Zuko as well, you know, getting like a new Titan in this world, and a bit more of a, you know, a kind of continuation of just, you know, different characters and monsters and stuff. Was, you know, I'm always all about, you know, expanding the lore and giving us new characters to get excited about. And yeah, I can tell Zuko is already a fan favorite, so I can't wait to see him appear again. And just like little moments of him just, you know, helping out and fighting, and like seeing like when they first when him and Kong first meet, like Kong literally just, you know, uses him as like a club, and he's just hitting other like apes with him and stuff, and that was hilarious. So yeah, I really enjoyed his role in the movie. The tone in this as well is just absolutely off the walls crazy. It's like wacky and fun, and it's like really like vibrant and colourful. And me and my mum actually went to go and see this together because she's a huge Monsterverse fan. In fact, as I said, I've said in my Godzilla -1 review, the whole reason I like these movies at all is because of my mum. Like she sat me down and showed me Godzilla, like the original movie back, you know, when I was a little kid, and we watched like, you know, King Kong and like all those original movies and stuff. So yeah, so whenever these movies come out, me and my mum always go and watch them together, which is really nice. And she herself actually said it's very much like, it's like this, the tone of this movie is like Guardians of the Galaxy meets, you know, obviously Godzilla and Kong, and then you've almost got like Planet of the Apes parts to it, because like it's like, you know, the whole thing with Scar King is very Planet of the Apes. He's almost a bit like Cobra. If you've seen the Planet of the Apes films, you know what I'm talking about. So yeah, there's a very kind of ominous, serious tone around that side of things, which I appreciate. So there's a nice little balance there. But yeah, this movie's, you know, it's pretty off the wall. I'll be honest, and but in a good way. You know, it's very cartoony as well. The fights, obviously, the fight sequences, all absolutely incredible. The CGI, I think this is like the lowest budget of all these movies, but the CGI looks amazing, I thought, and all the fight scenes were epic as hell. Especially that final fight, like holy shit, that was amazing. And the human characters were all really great as well. I haven't mentioned them too much yet, but getting to see Bernie come back, to be honest, didn't really have that much to do in this movie, I'll be honest, but he had a few nice little moments here and there, especially one because he was obviously filming it all, because basically no one kind of believed him that he helps out in the last movie. So he was filming all this stuff in Hollow Earth, and there's a new character called Trapper who I quite liked, actually. I thought he was a really good addition. Actually, there's a bit kind of at one point where someone calls him Ace Ventura, and he's very much like Ace Ventura, because he's a vet, but he's like a Titan vet, because Kong actually gets some dental work done in this. So if you ever wanted to watch Kong go to the dentist, then this is the movie for you. Obviously, you get Rebecca Hall back as Eileen Andrews. So I thought she was really good in the movie, and Gia, like her relationship. I just thought all the human characters were really good in this, and I genuinely just had no issues with the human side. Normally that can be a bit boring and a bit hit and miss, but for me, totally works in this. Now moving on to the mixed aspects of things. Some of the song choices for me seemed, although I liked the songs in the movie, some of the placement I felt was a bit random. So I'm a huge Kiss fan, and absolutely, as I love the band. I've seen them 3 times, fucking great. But having the sequence where, if someone told me that, watching Kong get his Infinity Gauntlet thing put on his hand, and he's like, what song are they going to play for that? I'd be like, I don't know, maybe like Iron Man or Thunderstruck or something kind of, Enter Sandman or something kind of heavy, whatever, like some, Metallica, like Ride the Lightning or something would have been cool. But no, they go with I Was Made for Loving You by Kiss. So totally not what I would have chosen, and it was kind of weird, I'll be honest. I'm still not really sure how I feel about that, but there's just a lot of kind of disco-y kind of songs in this. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great songs and I liked it, but I just don't know if I would have chosen it for this movie, but there you are. Godzilla, for me, I didn't feel he had that much to do in this movie. He's just kind of here and there, and they use him very sparingly. It's very much, again, this is Kong's movie, so I don't know if, because we've gotten a lot of Godzilla recently, the fact that Kong has actually only had 1 solo movie in this whole series, whereas Godzilla's had 2, and obviously we've got Godzilla -1 that's just come out recently. So I don't know if that was a conscious decision to make Kong the focus and just to make Godzilla, give him a bit of a backseat. I don't know, but yeah. So Godzilla, he's in it, a fair amount, but not quite as much as you would think, considering he gets top billing in the movie's title. So yeah. And then just finally in the mix section, this movie is definitely not for everyone. So if you have any reservations about the Monsterverse, if you think it's a bit kind of cheesy, well, let's be honest, it is fucking cheesy. But if that doesn't work for you, then I can't really recommend this movie. This is kind of the absolute pinnacle of, you either love this or you hate this. What these movies have become, going from Godzilla 2014, which is more of a serious tone, into like this kind of more like almost comic book kind of cartoonish kind of epic extravaganza that they're doing. This is like the absolute culmination of that. So for me, I mean, I was fucking all in for that. Like, I absolutely loved it, but totally appreciate that's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, so just bear that in mind. So if you have any reservations, then this may not be the movie for you. And then just moving into the negatives, I'll be honest, kind of following on from that last point, like, this movie, as great as it is, it doesn't really offer much more in the way of substance and kind of just epic monster stuff. We get some nice little moments here and there with the human characters, and obviously Gia and Eileen's relationship is nice. Kind of, she's being like the adoptive mother, and she's always like, my home is where you are, and all that stuff. Like, that's all lovely. But yeah, ultimately, it's just they're just reserved for just like nice little one-liners here and there, or nice little scenes. They're not So the focus of the movie is just very much just monsters fighting each other and just doing stuff and nice locations. So yeah, so if you're here, as I say, these movies aren't Oscar kind of big drama epics. This is just popcorn for the brain. It's totally what these movies are, and I love that about this. But as I say, it doesn't. If you're looking for something more than that, you're probably not going to find it here. And then again, just kind of with, as great as the fight scenes are, very much like, I know a criticism of Man of Steel when that came out was how there was all that destruction and throughout the Superman and Zod fight, And it was like, well, what's the consequence? You know, what's the blowback from that? And that's very much like what this is like. When you have these monsters fighting each other, you see literally buildings get squashed, and there are millions of people on the ground that are below all this, and every time there's a monster fight, like someone's getting killed, or hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of people are dying. But they never seem to really address that. It's just kind of like, it's accepted that that's just how it is. The monsters turn up, do their thing, and then that's it. And I know you could make an argument and say, well, they probably evacuate them, but the thing is, you never really know. Sometimes they just literally, like in this movie at the end, they just literally just plop out of the sky, and just through a portal. So how the hell is anyone going to know, give any warning? They could just pop out of a portal at any point and just start fighting. And so that's kind of, something that I'd thought about in previous movies. But it was very evident in this one, and I don't know. I think unless they start to address it and maybe change it, I think that could be a potential issue moving forward with these movies. So overall, Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. I think it's an absolute blast. I've got to be honest. I found this movie just to be an absolute pleasure to watch from beginning to end. And I just, I was on the edge of my seat at times, and I was like, cheering, and I just had a stupid cheesy ass grin on my face the whole time, really. So if you are even remotely interested in these movies, then definitely check this one out. I think you'll really enjoy it. As I say, if you have any reservations, though, it is very much, at the kind of the high end of the spectrum of kind of just monster madness. So again, bear that in mind. Probably not for you then. So with that all being said, I'm going to give Godzilla Kong: The New Empire a glowing review of 4 Sukos out of 5. Alright guys, there we go. There you have it. That is the final review in this series, or at least until the next one of these movies comes out, because you can bet your bottom dollar that I will be reviewing that for you. So as I say, if you did enjoy the video, give it a like, as always, and then subscribe and all that other crap as well. And stick around, because I have got a ranking video coming up very soon. I will be recording that literally next, and then editing that. So expect that in the coming days, because I love to put these movies in order and kind of just come up with a definitive list for you. So so stick around for that. Let me know in the comments as well, like your own views on the movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and did you enjoy it? Did you not? Let me know. And as always, thank you again for watching the video. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.